Hey friends, well, it is raining horribly here. I actually am thankful for the rain because yesterday it was in the low 30s, and if this had been snow, we'd have more snow than we knew what to do with. So anyway, I'm in the shop and I am putting these cabinets together, just the carcasses. So I just wanted to run through real briefly just what I do. So you saw me running the rabbets on the edges, and I believe the dados for the bottoms were, which is basically another groove. It's a groove, a plow, what we call a plow. But those were already cut. I did those with a router and a straight edge, and that was prior router table. So anyway, still we're using Baltic birch plywood, which is pretty gorgeous. And here's one. So let me run through the construction. We're just going to get down here and check it out. So right here is the dado where the bottom fits into. There's a little glue there. Maybe this one's better. Let me get up here. So that fits in. This is glued, and then it's toe-nailed from the bottom. And then just for a little extra, I've got some screws. You can see there. So the backs are on. The backs fit in the dado thusly right here. So you can see that little shelf that I created here. Right now I have it tacked because somebody borrowed my stapler and didn't bring it back, although it's coming this afternoon. So basically what we're looking, so this back is ready to go on. It'll also get nailed across here, and it's this microphone being directional, sometimes I have to show you, so you might notice a little bit of volume discrepancy but since I have a 180, I need to be talking directly to the mic. When I get behind it like this, I think the level is going to change a little bit. But anyway, I've got to wipe a little glue off, but this is the inside of what the cabinet is going to look like. And then this groove right there, you saw me run those two, is getting the top frame to hold the top. So this cabinet, and in a few short minutes, the other cabinet will be ready to start construction on the face frames. So let me get you set up, and I'll put the back on this guy. I'll put the back on this guy, and I think my stapler is bound to show up here fairly soon, and I'll staple the backs, and I'll start working on the face frames. Router table coming up as well. Talk to you soon. Okay. Now, this is how I put it back on. First of all, you have to get your measurement. You know, your width and your height always helps. So we've got plenty of meat in here to nail to or to staple to. And you want to cut your back once you get your measurement. And also this has a little curvature to it because these are two scrap pieces edge glued together. I didn't feel I had enough material that I didn't want to go buy a whole 4x8 sheet just for a cabinet back when I had the material. So, you know, yeah, chalk it up to Yankee ingenuity or something. So you want to cut this in such a way, very carefully, I might add, so that the panel is square. And by square, I mean the diagonals are the same. I've got 45 1/8 and you're gonna look at the same edge. In other words, so you don't get confused. You don't look at this measurement on this angle on the bottom of the tape, and then look at the top of the tape. You'll get two different measurements. So I'm looking at the top edge of my tape, and I'm also measuring 45 1/8 corner to corner here, and corner to corner here. And when I put this cabinet together, not only did I toenail through the shelf or the bottom into the side of this, I had this clamped so that it wouldn't push out and the nails would actually get in that groove and cause a problem. In other words, you can run a nail in there and then your groove, you're not smashed down into your groove, and then you'll never get it sucked tight again, even with the clamp, because the nail will be sitting in there at a funky angle, causing you separation of the cabinet side and the cabinet bottom. So I toenailed, and like I said, I drew the center line of this bottom on the outside, and then just ran 3 screws in the sides just for an extra added security. But what I also like to do before I put the nails and the screws to it, when you put each side on, and I also like to do it with the face down on the flat surface so that it automatically evens up your fronts. That would really be a problem. It's going to cause you a huge problem when you go to put your face frame on, because the face frame is also going to sit in a dado as well, and I'll show you that later. But what I do before I nail my sides together, and you don't have to go bananas about it, but this helps you when you go to your final assembly and putting your back on. You just take a framing square, and as you clamp, kick your side end where it's square, kick it in or out, and then tighten your clamps. And that's going to sort of put a memory in this whole situation where this is going to want to be square. The sides will want to be square. So then once you get that and you get it clamped, then you run your toenails and you run your screws. Now, getting back to the squareness of this back, you have your established width with the bottom, and your established width with the back. So what I'm gonna do, and I have it a little loose in there, not too bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch nailers. This is a 15 gauge trim nailer, and I'm gonna switch over for now. I'm gonna put some tacks in it. But anyway, getting back to the panel, the squareness of this back squares up the rest of the cabinet. So in other words, if you nailed your side and you're kicked out 1/2 inch out of square, or kicked in an inch out of square, that's going to impact your assembly. All right, so I'm about a 16. Oh, I'm sorry to keep bumping that on y'all. Okay, so now we've got this puppy. This puppy is semi-nailed. want to do. So as you swing this in, you know, you can measure parallel and be fine, but it's really your perpendiculars, your horizontals in this case, that are what matter. You don't want a parallelogram, you want it to be square. So now, again, 45 and 5/16, plywood to plywood. I'm 45 and 5/16. Just double check. Here we are. You have one square cabinet. So, it's ready for staples since the stapler's coming here in a few minutes. But anyway, that is how to square up a cabinet. I mean, you can make your pieces perfectly. Let me move you guys a little bit. You can make your pieces perfectly. There we are. And still, like they say, lose it in the turn with your assembly. Each, you know, there's a method to it, and it never changes. I mean, there's unique circumstances, but by and large, you want to end up with a square cabinet, and you don't want to have to tweak on it to get it square. Let's see if you guys can check that out. Let's see how we did. We may be a little whoppered at the top because it's going to need. So I think we're looking good. Yeah, I think we're there. How's the back look? The back's really good as well. Onward ho with the cabinets. Once I get some face frames up, I'll shoot. I'll get some more footage up of the face frames and how they go together. So there we go. I hope you're having a good Monday. I do. I've got footage coming out. I did a bunch of footage this weekend, so I've got to sort through it. Some of it I thought it was going to be short and it's long, so I've got to sort through a bunch of it. But I'm doing my best to get content out and really just interact with you guys. So, like I said previous, if you have something you want to see in the shop, or whether it's sharpening tools, let me know. I really appreciate everybody popping in and making their presence known. It really feels good, and I hope that some of this information is useful. You know, like I said, I've got the microphone review is coming out, and I've got some parts to that. We're going to try different things with that, different sound sources to really try to put this Rode ME-L through its paces and kind of push it to the limit. But anyway, we'll let that speak for itself. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.